Right, okay, so you've just landed for the first time. You are on your new planet and you've came out of your ship. One of the first things that you're going to need to do is follow the tutorial guides. So on the left hand side we've got the tab and you've got your item. You want to equip that. This is your zapper. This is going to help you zap any sort of animals or anything like that. Once you've equipped your multi-tool, what you're going to need to do is come back over to your ship. You're going to press F if you're playing on keyboard and mouse, and you're going to hold down your left mouse button, and that's going to dismantle the pod. Following that, you're then going to need to start looking for some ore, so iron and copper, ideally iron. I think that is your first one. Yep, so you've got iron ore, you're going to scan the area, and that's going to show you where all of your iron ores are. So we've got numerous different ones there, 372 meters, 250, and that's just in the top of your game. So we've got one there, 219 meters, so we're going to go over to that one. And this will be the setup for our first base. You want to be as close as you can when you're setting up your first automation, just make things a little bit easier, and you need less materials. Once you've reached your node, you're going to want to start mining it. So don't start mining the ground, because you're going to want to place an automated miner on there at some point. So if you go up to this top half, press the letter E, and you're going to start mining that iron ore. Okay, so once you finish mining the top half of that node, you're going to see you've got pretty much a flat area. Then what you're going to want to do is look for an ideal location to build your first hub. So if you press Q, and you're looking for the hub. If you select that, you're able to move your mouse forwards and backwards. You're able to use your scroll wheel and position it however you like. So for this one, we are going to put, so we've got the crafting bench there. We want it quite close. I'm going to step back, I'm going to pivot it a bit till I'm happy with the position, and then I'm just going to click that left mouse button to place the hub. Okay, so once you've built your hub, you're going to want to upgrade it, because at the minute it is just literally a chassis of a base. You've got a craft bench and you've got your main hub terminal. So if you go into your hub terminal, click hub upgrade 1, select the milestone, and it's going to show you what you need. So you're going to need 10 iron rods. You'll also see your hub upgrade in the top right hand side of your screen, so you need 10 iron rods. If you come to your crafting bench, you'll be able to see you can create iron ingots with the ore that you've just done. If you press and hold craft, you'll start creating iron ingots to then create your iron rods. So we know that we need 15 iron rods. To switch over to iron rods, simply in your recipes section there, select iron rod and press and hold that left mouse button again. So now that we've got our 15 iron rods, we can go back to the terminal, we can drag and drop our iron rods over, and we hit upgrade. Right, to get to hub upgrade number 2, we're going to need to go do some mining by hand. So just like we did before, head over to your node and start mining. You're going to want around about 30 to 40 iron ore, which you'll be able to see that you're gathering in the bottom left hand side of the screen. Okay, so we went and got 50 just because I wanted to. So head over to your crafting bench. You now need to select iron ingots and produce all your ingots. Once we've produced all the ingots, if we look again up the top right, we're going to need 10 iron plates and 20 iron rods. So let's produce the 10 iron plates. 1 extra for good luck. Head over to your hub terminal, drag and drop them in, and then hit upgrade. Once you've completed that hub upgrade, you'll have a hub that now looks like this. So at the back end, you've got a biomass generator, so you can pop things like leaves in or solid biomass, and that'll burn and produce power. So what we're going to want to do first is we're going to need some more iron ore, because we want to get our equipment workshop. So if you press Q on your keyboard, you'll be able to see in here we need 6 iron plates and 4 iron rods. So do the same again, get yourself some ore, get yourself some ingots, produce your iron rods, and then you're ready to produce your equipment workshop. So once you've got your iron rods and your plates, you're going to want to create your equipment workshop. So same again, select Q and find where you want to put it. I want to put mine just about there. Let's see how straight it is. Bosh, that'll do. That'll do nicely. And in here you can create some different things such as a portable miner. So that is an ideal thing to create. So we're going to craft one of them. So now we've got our portable miner. We don't want to spend all of our time by hand going over here and digging it out. So we're going to place our portable miner. So you press the tab, pop it into your hands, scroll down on your mouse wheel and place it. So now that we've got this automatically gathering ore for us, what we want to do is have a look at what is required to get that next level as an upgrade before we build the smelter. It's the best way. So if we look at hub upgrade 3, we can see we need 20 wire, 20 rods and 20 plates. So we're going to select that milestone so that it appears in our top right of the screen, and then we're going to go off and we're going to find a copper node. So you're going to want to come out of your hub, press V, that's give us that, and if you press and hold V, you're then able to scan down and look for copper. We found a copper ore using our scanner, and it's only 50 meters away, which is brilliant. So let's have a look at that one. Right, we've got 56 copper ore. We're very close to where our hub is, which is great. So we're going to turn that copper ore now into some wire. But first off, we know that we need 20 iron plates and 20 iron rods, so we might as well go collect our iron ore that came out of the automated miner and get it to collect another 100. So we click grab all, and that'll continue on as it is. When we go back over there, we'll create another automated miner to drop onto the copper node to make it a little bit quicker. So now we're going to want to produce our copper ingots like before. And once we produce all of our copper ingots, we're going to want to turn our iron ore into iron ingots as well. So now we've got everything that we need to go off to our hub terminal, and we're going to drag all of these items in, and we're going to upgrade to the next level. So once we've done hub upgrade 3, we're going to want to get to hub upgrade 4. The ultimate aim of the start of the game is to get your hub up to level 6. So let's have a look at what we need next. So we'll go hub upgrade 4, we're going to select our milestone. Up in the top right we can see we need 75 iron plate, 20 cable and 10 concrete. So for concrete we're going to need to find some limestone, which we then turn into concrete. So we've done our scan for the limestone. We're a little bit further away on this one, so we're 220 meters over this way. So let's go over. We won't need too much because we only need 10. And then once you've got to your limestone node, same again, we're just going to press and hold E, and we're just going to get some limestone to make that concrete. Right, so now we've got enough iron plates, we're now going to go to our hub terminal. We're going to drag and drop our items back onto there, and we're going to hit upgrade. So now that we've upgraded that, we now want to upgrade it again. The reason we're doing it in this way is because although yes, we now have access to creating conveyors, we also have access to doing power and power lines, we can do our smelters and constructors. It's all pointless unless you've got a way to automatically mine that ore. So in the next upgrade, if we look back into the terminal and go to hub upgrade 5, you see we're going to get the miner Mark 1 and a storage container and some extra inventory slots. So for this we're going to need 50 cables, 75 iron rods and 20 concrete. So we're going to select that milestone and we're going to go to each of our different deposits which you've identified, and we're going to create all of them 3 items, and that's going to give us access to an automated miner which we can attach a conveyor system to, which will go into a smelter, go into a constructor and ultimately into a storage container. And that's going to be your first automated line that you've got. So let's go and find these items and produce it. Okay, so we've got all of our concrete, our cables and our iron rods. We're now ready for the next upgrade. So head back to the terminal. We're going to drag and drop each of the required resources into the upgrade hub. Right, once you've done that, it's going to tell you to do the next upgrade, which is the final one, to go to hub upgrade 6. But this is the point of where I would start introducing automation, because if we look at hub upgrade 6, we need 100 wire, 100 iron plates, 100 iron rods and 50 concrete. So at this point I'll be wanting automated concrete, automated wire production, automated iron plate and automated iron rods. So next we're going to create our first one where we're going to produce some iron plates, and then we'll go from there. So we're going to select that milestone so we know we're tracking it, and we're going to come outside and we're going to look to produce the automated Mark 1 miner for iron. So you're going to want to go over to your portable miner that you placed down earlier. You're going to want to press E and you're going to want to pick it up. What that's going to do is you'll collect all the ore that it had, but you need the portable miner to make the miner Mark 1. So now you're going to press Q to see what your requirements are. So we know that we need one portable miner, which we've got. We need 10 iron plates, we've only got one, and we need 10 concrete. So we're going to go back and we're going to create some more iron plates. So once we've got our iron plates, we're now ready to construct our first automated miner. At this point, you want to be looking around the land and seeing roughly where you think you're going to be happy for your line to go. So if you're going to produce multiple of these, we want a little bit of space because we're going to have some fairly big units, but we want to minimize the amount of conveyors that we've got, just to make it look a little bit neater, a little bit tidier. So we're going to press Q, we're going to head over to our miner Mark 1, and we're going to pivot that so that we can see where things are going to be flowing in and flowing out. So we've got a big drill, and we are going to pop this one just here. So there's our first miner, and the reason it's not working is because at the minute we haven't got any power. But what we want to do is set the system up first and then start the power going to the automation line. So next up, coming out of there, we're going to have iron ore. So to turn that iron ore into ingots, we're going to want a smelter. So next up, we want to produce our smelter to take the outputs from the miner and put them into a smelter. Once you've produced everything that you need to, you've got your miner placed, you've got all of your equipment that you need to create the smelter, you're going to want to press Q, open the smelter, and we're going to look for that input and output direction. So what we don't want is to have it facing green to green, because you're not going to have the correct flow for the conveyor. If for any reason you're thinking further down the line, you're going to want to split this one into 3 or 2 different lines, because you'll unlock a splitter for the conveyor system. You may want to just add a little bit of space in between them, but for this purposes we're just going to do a single flow line so we can have a look at what the automation looks like. So we're going to just adjust that slightly by scrolling the mouse wheel, and we're going to drop it down. Perfect. So what we've got now is we've got our smelter and we've got our automated miner. So one of the things you need to do is go over to your smelter, and you're going to need to configure that for what you're doing. So for this, we know it's coming from iron. We're going to want to go into iron ingot, and then when it receives the power, it'll turn everything into an iron ingot that goes into it. So the next piece that we're going to want to do is a constructor. So if we have a look again at Q and see what we need, we're going to production and constructor. So we need reinforced plates, and we also need some cables as well. So if we have a look over, when you're looking at your constructor, you've got that selected or hovered over, sorry. So you hover over the constructor, you have a look at your materials required. We know we need 6 iron plates and we need 12 screws in order to create 1 reinforced iron plate. So therefore we need 24 screws and we need 12 iron plates to create that. And then we're going to need 8 cables as well. We've currently got 1. So I'm going to go off and create these items. So we've now got 2 reinforced iron plates, and we've got our cable that we need to create that constructor. So let's head back to our line. We've got our line here. We're going to place a constructor around about there. So let's hit Q. Let's go to production and hit constructor. And again, we're looking for them arrows. We don't want to be pointing back towards a machine. We always want to point away from the machine. So let's have a look around about here, I think looks good. Yeah, I like it there. Perfect. So now what we can do is we can start to visualize how this line is going to flow. So finally what we need is something to store everything that comes in. So we're going to have a look for a little storage container. So again, we need 10 iron plates and we need 10 iron rods. So we'll go off and we'll produce them. A lot of people will produce these already. They'll start powering these up and they'll start powering the smelter to get things done a little bit quicker. But I'm just purposely doing this so you can see what happens if you don't want to start putting power into your system as of yet. So you can still do it all by hand to get to this state. So once you've made all the items that you need, you're then going to want to come back out and you're going to want to place your storage unit. What I don't really fancy doing is placing that storage unit right on this sandhill, so I'm going to put it a little bit further over here and we'll just simply connect the conveyor up and it'll be a little bit longer. So again, we're going to pivot this round so that it's all the correct orientation. So we're going to have it like that and we're going to place that one down. So now that we've built our automated line, we've got our storage, our constructor, our smelter and our miner. We now want to configure the constructor. So we know we've got iron ingots coming in, and for the purposes of this one, we want to automate the production of plates. So we'll select plates, and when we get power and it has ingots flowing in, we're then going to get them going straight into our storage container. So now that we've done that, we want to connect them all up. So we're going to go over to our miner, we're going to select Q, and we're going to go logistics and select our conveyor belt. So you're going to go over to there, snap that one in. We're going to come over to here, we're going to snap that one in. And finally, we're going to come over to here and we're going to snap that in as well. I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to dismantle that and do some crazy shenanigans. It's my fault for placing it here, but you'll get the point. So we're going to take that off by using the F to dismantle. We're now going to select 3 on the hotbar. We're going to bring that out a bit. Just around about here, because I don't like it going through sand. It's better. And it gives us something better visually to look at. Just a little bit of a snake track. So once we're happy with that, we're happy with our placement, you'll see that it's moving automatically. Next step is some power. So now we need to power these machines up. So over on your hub, you'll see that you've got these 2 biomass generators. So we're going to need to build a power pole for them. So if you press Q, go to power, you're going to need a power pole. So I've already produced what I need to create one. So I'm going to pop this one about halfway there. Actually, let's get it over here. We're going to put it there. And then the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to need to connect it up with some power lines. So we're going to get one going from, let's go the one on the right. So from the right into here. So for your power poles, remember, we need to power 3 machines up with this. If we want to expand this grid at any point, we're going to need an additional pole to expand this off using one of the slots. But for this one, we're just going to connect all 3 machines up. So now that we've done that, we've got our generator connected up to this power line, this connected to the miner conveyed into the smelter, producing iron ingots. We've got the iron ingots flowed into the constructor, producing iron plates, and all of that flowing into the storage unit at the back. So the next step is to actually finally get some power. And then once we've done this, we can rinse and repeat, which we won't do in this video, but we'll rinse and repeat that for the other one. So you're going to have a much larger conveyor system coming in for your copper and for your limestone to create your concrete as well. So to power these up, because at the minute we don't have the ability to produce biomass, but you get that in Hub Upgrade 6, we're going to need to go find some leaves and we're just going to gather them up. And then we'll be able to burn the leaves. And then once you think you've got enough of the leaves, you're going to want to come over to your biomass burner. You're going to want to select E and just drag your leaves in there. That is then going to start producing power for your plant, and you can read these graphs to see what your consumption is. Currently we're at 5.2 megawatts and we've got a capacity of 20. So you can check that your system is working. Everything on the top should be green, 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 and we can see our iron ore now flowing out of here, coming into our smelter and producing the iron ingots, which are now going to flow into our constructor, and they will start to produce the iron plates. And there we see our iron plates coming off. You can nick them off the line if you want to. If you don't want them going all the way around into your storage unit, you can just steal them off and use them quick time if you needed to. But yeah, so that is essentially how you get started. The next step from this point would be to add the additional automation lines in for things such as your cables. So what you would do there is you can simply have a number of constructors, one leading to the other. We know that we need wires to create cables. You can have one creating wires leading into another one that's going to create the cables, and then that can flow into a storage unit as well. So the next step from here will be sorted out for your copper, sorted out for your concrete, have all of them going into storage units, and then aim to get your hub upgrade 6 and produce that space elevator. So if you've enjoyed today's video of this very brief introduction to the game, it's not anything advanced, but it's just the first things that you need to do when you get started. Yes, there will be more automated, optimized ways that you can do this, but for a simple, if you're picking it up for the first time, you've got no experience of the game, if you do this, it'll give you a good head start into enjoying Satisfactory.